lot of top players missing for Ole Miss, and tonight they have been dominant. And the dominance continues. Rudolph sacked. Flushed out of the pocket and dropped by Lockett. Brown and Kimdichi.
baby.
The Marines are involved.
Fins up for Isaac Gross. The Landsharks are swarming.
Landshark Nation, baby. Landshark Nation, baby. Landshark Nation.
With it nearing a decade since Rebel Nation was first introduced to the Fins Up, and with so many fan favorites evoking the celebration, it's more important now than ever to remember exactly where it came from. To acquire the exact origin of this phenomenon, one must travel to the lush mountainous region of the Pacific Northwest, the home of the original Landshark, Tony Fine.
When he was younger, I always believed that, you put your children in sports, keep them busy, you keep them out of trouble. When Anthony was 5, I decided I was gonna put him in football. And the first day I took him there, he's like, Mom, he said, I don't wanna play football. I said, why? He said, them kids are trying to hurt me. I said, you'll learn it, you'll be fine. Well, history is he loved it after that.
He became a quarterback in high school, and he was a great quarterback. I mean, there's many times he gave us heart attacks because he'll run backward and then he'll run back for a touchdown. I was like, how did that just happen?
Although football was Tony's lifelong passion, he made a unique decision upon graduating from high school.
He said, I really feel like God's telling me that I need to go in the military. He said, we're at a time of war. He said, I could go to college now, but I think that I need to serve my country first.
Anthony didn't like taking things easy. He didn't want no easy way of doing things. If it was boring to him, he just didn't want to do it. So he went with the hardest job. I have to admit, I was even shocked when he told me to be a Cow Scout. I was like, do you even understand what that means? He's like, I'm gonna do it.
He sent me some pictures of him at the gate, and he had these children that were there, and he was handing out the candy I had given him to them, which was fine, except for that some of these children hooked bombs, their families hooked bombs to them. So they really were not supposed to be doing that. And I told him, I said, son, you gotta be careful. He said, Mom, he said, if God wants to take me loving on some children, he said, these children don't have what we have. He goes, and my pocket's full of candy. If that's what's gonna put a smile on their face, he said, I'll take the chance.
I believe Anthony actually was more focused when he was downrange. He would send us pictures of him working out. He took advantage. Anytime he can get in the gym, he was in the gym working. He's like just huge. And when he came back, he was not the skinny quarterback Anthony anymore. He was like all lean muscles.
It was time for him to go on to the next stage in his life. So when he gets out, he went to a junior college. He went to Scottsdale.
And I was actually shocked that I thought he was so good at being a quarterback that he would stay in that position, but he literally went to defense. And he was really good at it.
He said, well, we need to move you to, middle linebacker. And he just really took off. And then colleges started, inquiring.
When Fine arrived on campus in 2007, the Rebels were projected to finish 5th in the SEC West at Media Days. But number 47 was ready to make noise for the Red and Blue.
Tackle like a man now, let's go. Come on. All right. Not bad, Tony. Not bad, Tony.
Despite the preseason ranking, the Rebs were loaded with talent on the defensive side of the ball, and Fine needed a way to stand out from the crowd.
The Landshark was started. Me and Tony was good friends. I was the second string nose guard. He was the second string linebacker. So it was kind of one of those things we would always compete against the first string to kind of to push those guys. I remember we was in camp and Tony came over, kind of just talking about how practice was that day. And he had asked me, Po, I want you to hold that double team down. I'm gonna come through there like a shark, baby. So it's kind of one of those things. He kind of started at practice, and then we took it to the game, and the rest has been history. So that's how the Landshark kind of was created.
There is a different level of electricity and enthusiasm in this stadium tonight.
There's the give. It's Hawkins, and he is plastered as he trying to work the middle and driven back by Jarrell Poe. Jarrell Poe is coming on, folks. I'm telling. Look at Jarrell. He's excited.
People's like, what was that? Everybody like to see guys' celebration. The student section started throwing it back at us. They took it and ran with it. And of course, like I told you, when Tony made a play, the whole world would know. So Tony took it and ran with it, and it's just been our thing ever since then.
He's going to give to Williams, and Williams is in deep trouble. Tony Fine read that like a cheap novel. Came blowing through there and dropped him at the 23-yard line. How about the senior from Washington State? Wow.
What had started as a practice celebration had begun to gain momentum. And by the end of the season in 2008, signaling fins up had become second nature.
Lee took a big shot from Lockett coming off the edge.
And speaking of Poe, he picks it off. All he does is make plays. And the Ole Miss front four with a quick trigger finger today. Parade Jerry.
Graham Harrell standing about 5 yards deep in his end zone. Could be a safety.
They know what it is.
Ole Miss, a safety is can be such a devastating thing because they get the ball right back.
That's giving the signal there of sharks. Blood in the water, the sharks are going after it.
Yeah, baby, we Landshark it up all day. All day. You know what? They woke up this morning and didn't see this coming. But when a shark attack, you never see it coming. All day, baby.
He just had that ability to not only lead, but to just make people feel a part of what he's doing. A couple players start doing it, then all of a sudden everybody's doing it, and all of a sudden you see everybody in the stand going, "Hurr!" And I'm like, wow, my son made this impact on all these people's lives.
One of the fans had sent me a video and told me, Cindy, it's not just on the field anymore. She said, now the basketball team's doing it.
Pull and pop from 3, and he got it. It's Landshark time.
Diving catch from RT ends the inning. And she throws up the Landshark.
Swung on, ground ball toward Robinson. He comes hard, gloves it, fires to first. In time for the out. And he throws up the Landshark.
It had moved now from the field to other aspects of the college, which was really good to see because it's a mark of excellence. It's like, I'm doing my best. I'm giving it my all.
Here's the snap. Quarterback in trouble in the backfield and sacked by Marquise Haynes, and he's got a Landshark there. That's why it's so quiet here.
The thing that's cool for me is that when the Landshark really took off, it wasn't just football. You saw pitchers from softball doing it. You saw baseball teams doing it. You saw Marshall Henderson doing it, making a 3 and throwing up the Landshark. So the fin became synonymous with Ole Miss and with a big-time play.
Throughout recruitment, that's all I heard about, the Landshark defense. And you might see somebody throw it up a few times. Landshark defense. I even got it tattooed on me, Landshark defense.
That's one of the things that made me want to come here. This is a place where you got a standard set. And that's just a part of the standard. When you make a play, you got to do that.
Yeah, it's like a brand. Like it's something that our defense stand for. It's just a bonding thing with the fans and everyone around this campus.
Oh, you're really anxious, but you got to wait for the right moment. It got to be a big play.
You're going to do when you make a play that's, out of the ordinary, something special, something that's game-changing.
You finally get to throw what everybody's talking about and to finally make a play and do it. That's exciting.
Do you remember your first fins up?
I think my very first fins up was
the first time I threw fins up.
Oof. First time.
I actually do, I think. I think it was my sophomore year we played Wofford, and that was the first time I think I ever threw it up.
Big stick on Nick Colvin from Zedrick Woods. Hello, Mr. Woods.
It was in Florida State, my first TFL. That was my first TFL, first tackle.
Back to the left side, now settles. Handoff left side, stuck is Patrick by Benito Jones, a freshman from Waynesboro, broke clear.
Like that I can remember that's on record in the picture is at Kentucky. And I have like a picture, that's why I got SEC Player of the Week.
Has time, now in trouble, he's hit, he's going to be sacked back at the 16 or 17-yard line as the pocket collapsed.
Well, some sad news to report this week in Oxford. Former Ole Miss linebacker and Iraq War veteran Tony Fine passed away unexpectedly of unknown causes. And Fine was a key member, Steve, of Ole Miss's defense last year. Tony Fine, born in 1982, and we lost him this week, the year 2009. Wristbands being worn by his teammates. A lot of memories that were shared during our talks on Thursday and Friday. Landshark.
Tony was the one that started the Landshark routine with our defense here.
And they wear his number on the back of their helmets today in his honor. Number 47, Tony Fine.
Tony Fine's life was cut short, but his legacy would live on. And in 2017, the Ole Miss student body voted to permanently make the Landshark the on-field mascot for Ole Miss, appropriately named Tony.
I was so excited and so honored that Ole Miss wanted to embrace the person that started it all by honoring him by, using his name, Tony.
What better way to honor my son, who he was, what he was about. I did like it.
The Fins Up is just a unifier. It's something that everybody was part of. No matter you're rich, you're poor, no matter you're black, you're white, or whatever background you come from.
I found it to be very beautiful that it grew like that and that everybody embraced it and understood what it meant. We're hunting you down, we're gonna get you, we're gonna get where we gotta go to. And that's kind of what Anthony, who he was. I'm gonna get to where I need to be at and make it happen. I know he can see it from where he's at. I just wish he could be there to be a part of it and to be able to sit here and speak about it from himself.
I thought, I'd take you right now. I would take you in the living form right now over this, but you know what, son? You left me a legacy, and I'll embrace that, because I wouldn't change having you for one moment of all this pain my heart feels for the honor that it was being your mother and watching your legacy move forward.
His legacy. Anthony's legacy, I would say, is about impacting people's lives. He was actually a very big part of his family. And he made an impact on our family. And I'm not talking about in football, I'm just talking about from the person he was and who he became.
When I seen that the school had embraced my son's legacy like that, all of a sudden I knew that he lived long enough for that to come into effect, and then God took him home. It gave peace with me that my child had been created to be a unifier to a college and to bring something that everybody could embrace. With its simple move of achievement and excellence on a football team so that he could get noticed. That it took a life of its own the way it did really touched me as a mother.